The Unemployed Actress, take 1. The Unemployed Actress, take 3. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of The Unemployed Actress. I am Lobcke, I am her is she, and she is me. And welcome back to another week of my life as an unemployed actress. This week we're chatting about romance. For everybody who doesn't know me, and apparently people who do know me, I am a romantic. It was brand new news to a friend of mine. But there we are. I am a romantic. I am hearts and flowers. I am all the cheesy shit. I'm a romantic, okay? Enough said. Not so big a romantic that I enjoy romantic comedies. Like, under no circumstances do I enjoy that. I will say there is an exception. There is an exception. There is an exception. There is always an exception. And this will be the only exception, as Paramore said, to my aversion, if you will, to romantic comedies. I'm not a fan of rom-coms. But Notting Hill. Notting Hill. Julia Roberts and Hugh Grant and Notting Hill, London. I loved it. I love it to this day. I love it. Notting Hill is just one of those films that I could watch 1,000 times and just not get bored. Love it so much that last year I was in London and I went to Notting Hill. I went to the little travel shop. I went to the Blue Door. Mind you, I had a moment where I was in front of the wrong Blue Door, but we're not going to talk about that. I was at the Blue Door. I walked down Portobello Road and felt that montage of the seasons that's in the film. Very cute. Very cute. I had my movie moment. So Notting Hill is 100% my exception to the rom-com rule. But then you ask Lobcke, if it's not rom-coms, then what do you mean? Romantic dramas, art house romance dramas. And one such drama, well, it's not really one, it's 3 films, it's a trilogy. It's Richard Linklater's Before trilogy. Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, Before Midnight. Ethan Hawke, Julie Delpy, stunning. The first one finds them in Vienna. They're meeting on a train and they meet on a train. They witness a couple fighting and they're sitting across each other in a train and they get to talking and they then go to the dinner cart to talk some more, and his stop is in Vienna before he takes a flight and she's going to Paris, and he says, is where you're going urgent? Like, get off the train with me. Like, let's spend the day together in Vienna. We have such a good vibe. Let's spend the day together before I fly out and you can take the next train to Paris. And she does that. They get off the plane together and they spend the day in Vienna. And as romances go, they fall in love and they agree to meet again. It's that one of those meet me in Paris moments. But they do. And the film ends. And then we get the next one where it's 7 years on. And life is entirely different. They didn't meet where they said they would. And now it's a perchance meeting. And they get to speak as sort of different versions of themselves now. They're more grown up. Ethan Hawke's character, Jesse, he's married, he's got a kid, he's an author, and he's a famous author who'd written a book about their meeting in Vienna. and they, yeah, life's moved on from them, but for them that spark is still there. And at the end of the film, he's faced with a choice of staying or going, and he stays. And then it brings a third film, where they are together as a couple, and you see what that dynamic looks like. Um, I love the trilogy. It was so well rounded. It was so good. It's really all in the dialogue, if I'm being honest. It's a lot of monologues and a lot of back and forth about love and life and death and relationships, and it's all in the dialogue, really, that makes the film. But I think what I love about it as well is it's also about the city they're in, really. It's these two people exploring a city, and as much as you get to know them, you sort of get to know the city as well. I don't know. With the first one, I'd seen these films before I started traveling, right? And then I've traveled and I've been to the cities. The first one's in Vienna, the second one's in Paris, and the third one's in Greece. Haven't been to Greece, but it's on the bucket list. But you sort of get a feel for the city as well. And the romantic in me loves these films because, like, I've always dreamed of having that moment, right, of traveling and bumping into someone and forming a connection, and then it's sort of like, let's get off together here and get to know one another, and meet me back on 11th of November at midnight by the Eiffel Tower. And if we still feel the same, then you'll be there and I'll be there and it'll be great. There's podcasters that I love. Two guys, it's Shits and Gigs, James and Fuad. And James also spoke about that once, about having that, I get on a plane and I'm sitting next to a cute girl and we get to talking and there's chemistry, and it's the romantic's dream. It's the romantic sort of like storyline that we'd like to live out at least once, or or that's the case for me. So those films are really good in that, and really just two people discussing the human condition and what it means to be human and what it means to fall in love and to have your heart broken, and to be a little bit cynical about the world and to be a little optimistic about the world. It's gorgeous. I love those films because, for people who know me, right, I see the world in cinema. Seems weird. Please explain. I see the world in cinema. Like, if I experience a moment, a really good moment, let's take falling in love, for example. If I am in a moment that is sort of surrounded by love, I can see the camera shot that's happening right now. I can see the wide shot. I can see the light that's streaming in. I know what light I want. I know I want that sort of prism lighting. I needed to throw rainbows. I know what soundtrack would be playing under the scene. I look back on like joyous moments, and it has that montage that happens as well with the music underneath, and shows the time lapse because it's carrying us from one scene to the next. I have all of that in my brain as I experience life, as I experience good things, as I'm part of being human. My mind is geared to doing cinematic things with my world. I can't tell you why. It just is. It just is. And I feel like those films, they feel like that. They feel really good. They they look really good, and just listening to them speak and what they're speaking about just is like, so I'm a big romantic in that way. And then you'd go, oh, but Lobcke, like, after romance, like, there's heartbreak too. And trust me, I know, I am aware. In the not so distant past, I had a bout of giant heartbreak. And it's so funny because, tangent, I'm a twihard. I loved Twilight. Loved Twilight. And there's a scene in New Moon where Bella and Edward are broken up, and Bella sits in this chair in front of this window, and Possibility by Leica Lee plays, and it's this almost like 360 camera shot, and the seasons pass, and she's just sitting in this chair, just like hopeless and heartbroken. And when I was watching this, I was around 16, 17, so I hadn't experienced heartbreak. So I was just like, girl, get up. You are so pathetic. You're sitting in that chair, you're crying all the time, writing sad letters to Alice about how broken your heart is. Pull yourself together, man. Honestly, get up. Strengthen your spine and do the damn thing. Like, what do you mean? Fast forward a decade and more. Heartbreak befalls me. Heartbreak befalls me, and I'm like, ooh, Bella might have been onto something. Bella might have been on to something, because I'm just gonna sit here. I'm just gonna sit here. Like, I've got a giant gaping hole in my chest. Can nobody see this hole in my chest? I'm quite sure that, like, I'm bleeding outwardly. How does nobody see this immense pain that I'm in? What do you mean? What do you mean? How do people recover from this? How do they? Oh my God! How do they recover from this? This is so painful. And then it brought another film to mind, which was the point of me telling this entire romanticism story to you, is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Kate Winslet and Jim Carrey. It's a sci-fi romance, if you will. Really good. Really, really good. Really good. It's basically this couple that has been through a breakup, and the guy bumps into the girl one day, and she looks at him like she has no recollection of him. Sort of greets her really shyly, and she sort of looks at him like, who are you, bruh? Like, do you need something, or what's happening here? And he goes to their mutual friend, and he's like, what the fuck? Like, she acted like she didn't know me. What is up with that? Why would she act like that? And they're like, maybe because she doesn't. And he's like, what the hell? And they tell him that she had this procedure done where she had him erased from her memory. And he's like, what? And he goes to this doctor that does this and finds out about it. And he's like, okay, well, if she's going to do that, me too. Bet money. I'm erasing her too. And he goes and he starts the procedure, right? And that's sort of when the film really kicks off. And what they do really well in the film is we sort of follow him as the memories are getting erased. That's basically the film. And we see the memories collapse, and we see the people fade. And it's really cool. It does like a low budget Inception kind of thing. That dream within a dream when the dream starts collapsing. That kind of thing. But just not on a Christopher Nolan budget. Does it on a lower budget. But then you see the memories collapse, and they start with the fights and their disagreements. And of course, in Heartbreak, those are sort of like the memories at the forefront, right? The awful ones. And as he's going through them, he's experiencing them, and he's feeling okay with, this erasure of her. And then it gets to the good memories, and it gets to the good times. And as he's going through those, he sort of realizes, oh, but he doesn't want to erase her from his memory. He really wants to keep her in his memory. He doesn't want to let her go. Like, they were really good times. And it's really cute. He tries to hide her in his in like older memories where she shouldn't be. But they find her, and they really, it gets to the last memory that he has left, really, of the two of them. And the most memorable quote from the film is, "Meet me in Montauk." And that's sort of the last thing she says to him in this memory, before she's entirely erased. And when the film started, we sort of saw them meet on a beach in Montauk. He just randomly decided to get on a train and go to Montauk. And even in his internal dialogue, he's like, why am I going here? I have no idea, but let me go. And then he notices her again on the train, and they talk to one another, and they basically meet for the first time again. And then a whole bunch of things happen still, but that's most of it, right? And it sort of brings this question of like, even though heartbreak sucks, and it sucks, and you think you're going to die, and it is the most visceral thing to happen that you can't show to people, right? When you break your arm, you get to go, my arm's broken. When you get stabbed, they can see the wound. Heartbreak has no wound. You just know that, like, your chest is constantly hurting. It's like there's a gaping hole there, but there isn't. And you want people to be like, there's no blood, there's no evidence to the pain that you're feeling, but it's an extreme kind of pain. And it asks the question, like, if you could erase heartbreak or hurt or pain related to someone from your memory, would you? Because with the bad is also the good. It's also the good memories that are going. It's also the good thoughts are going too. The good experiences are going as well. You don't get to select to just have all the bad things erased. Like, everything's got to go. It's a blowout sale. All things must go. Like, nothing gets to stay. So, like, is that worth it then? Would you do that? Or would you just go through the motions of having your heart being broken and then healing from that? Because, like, in the thick of my heartbreak, I was like, bring me the machine of eternal sunshine of the spotless mind. Bring me that machine. Like, take these memories. I don't want them. Oh my God, why can't I breathe? It was a lot. Big ups to my friends, because they were there for all of this. But I wanted to eternal sunshine of the spotless mind me, right? Also, I love that title, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. There's a poem that's in the film. Kirsten Dunst is actually in there, and she's the one that mentions it. And it also lends itself to this ignorance is bliss kind of thing. Like, if you don't remember the pain, you can't feel it, and that allows the continuous feeling of joy in your life, right? It's eternal sunshine in your head because you don't remember something. But then is not remembering the pain worth also forgetting the joy? Is it? I think that's a really good film to watch. It's really worth watching. It's really brilliant. It's got a lot to talk about as well, right? Because Kate Winslet's character, Clementine, and then Tangerine, same person. She has this phrase she says to him when they first met and when they meet again, and she says, I'm just a fucked up girl looking for her own peace of mind." And again, this view that she has of herself, and he sort of counters that with, "I can't see anything about you that I won't like." And she's like, "But you will." And it calls to, there's a part in the film where Kirsten Dunst's character is a woman scorned by the doctor who erases people's memories, and she sends everybody their memory tapes back, basically, to be like, "He took your memories, remember them. I don't think this is something that people should do." And both Kate Winslet and Jim Carrey's characters listen to those tapes. And on those tapes is really all the bad things they don't like about each other. It's really the bad memories. It's them really fixating on the bad about each other. So when she says that, and when he says that with a new brain, it's again the sort of like the beginning phases of relationships, right? It's that, as they say, that honeymoon phase where everything is glowy and it's got like a sepia filter to it, and it just looks like summer. Everything just looks and feels like summer. The soundtrack is like JP Cooper. and everything just feels, it's all extreme close-ups and close shots, and really just really just beautiful. It's all yellows and blues and oranges. It's all that. And that's why he says, "I can't think of one thing that I wouldn't like about you." And she's like, "Oh, but you will." And then when you hear or you think to those tapes, both of them just had all these terrible things to say about one another. But their experiences was very different, because when those tapes were being made and the memory erasure was being requested, they were in the bad. They were in the dark place. They needed to remember only the bad stuff. They were in Bella's chair. The 360 was going. Like Lee was singing, "There's a possibility." That was all happening. So, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, definitely a film to see. 100% a film to see. It's so good. It's so... Look, and again, in the same breath that I say, "Oh, it's so good," I mean, it's an old film, so you sort of just gotta take it as it. You gotta meet it where it's at, right? You've gotta meet the film for when it was made, for what it was trying to say then. And I think it's just one of those films. Either you'll enjoy it or you'll hate it, but give it a try. Watch it nonetheless. You don't have to be a romantic to watch it. I think it's really good. But yeah, I'm a romantic. There's a lot of romance films that I really enjoy. Call Me by Your Name, Blue is the Warmest Color, About Time, Me Before You. Gorgeous films that need to be seen. Casablanca. Oh, Casablanca. Probably anything Woody Allen also. Vicky Cristina Barcelona. These are all films like about romance, but they've also got such human conversations that happens in them. Such dynamic characters that I love to watch those. Rom-coms and I will probably never be friends. I don't care for the best friend of the girl who is just jaded and doesn't care about love and trying to... she's either that or she's enthusiastic about love, trying to get the jaded, and not about love, leading lady to care about love, and the guy who doesn't care about love, who then his heart gets changed by the leading lady, and he's got the dumb, like, over sexualized best friend. It's just no. No, it's not for me. But the romance dramas, the art house ones, the ones that really speak to you, I guess. No shade to rom-com lovers. Enjoy your rom-coms, fam. It's just not for me. But the romance films, yeah, 100%. So watch the Before trilogy and watch Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. They're really, really good films. They truly are. It's another week I brought you here to listen to me talk about films I enjoy and just share a little bit too much about myself. But there we are. It's the unemployed actress. This is what I do when I don't have jobs. When I don't have acting jobs, I talk about films. So thank you for returning to listen to me talk about films. Yeah, go watch them, enjoy them, tell me what you thought about them. Guys, thank you so much for joining me for this week's episode of The Unemployed Actress. I hope you enjoyed it. It's just a little bit of a look into me, and once again, films that I enjoy and would love to share with you. So I will see you again next week. Maybe I might have an update on castings. Who knows? For now, go enjoy. Thank you for being here. Do the usual, like, share, subscribe, all of the fun things, and I will see you again next week. Bye.